Most lifters train hard, but neglect one key factor, and that's mobility. So if you are struggling on your lifts or pushing through nagging pain, this video is for you. So poor mobility limits range of motion, which leads to improper form and increased risk of injury. Now, common mistakes are not warming up, poor form, and pushing through pain. So join me right now. We're going to work on 3 different drills. The first drill we're going to do is 90-90, but before we get into it, I just want you to get a little bit of mobility in the hip socket. So bring your feet and knees wide, sitting up tall, and just hammock the legs side to side, and make sure the knees are wide. They're not together so they bump into each other. Keep the chest lifted. And now pivot over to the right and adjust a couple things. You want to make sure you're on your sit bones so you can lift up, and it's 90-90. So you want to create 90 degrees and 90 degrees. So out of the hip joint, the thighs coming out of the hip joint, and then the knees and the ankles lined up, dorsiflex the feet. Now before we settle into this, I do want you to give a little spinal release. So all you're going to do is lengthen the spine and rotate outside the right leg. You can use your fingertips or try and get the palm flat and lift your chest, pressing the knees down. Keep your chest lifted. And just keep breathing fully, because the breath is going to be very essential as we continue on. Okay, now, as you're in your 90-90, I want you to really try and get that back sit bone down. Keep drawing it down, and you can use your palms for support, and you can also rotate your torso try and get your belly button closer to that back leg. And make sure this front leg, the front knee, does not lift. Keeping your chest tall, everything is active and engaged. And you can also test, is your sit bone down? And it's a good test, especially when you do the other side. Okay, now very slowly lift up and pivot to the other side and adjust. And one side could be so very different than the other. So keep that in mind. Lengthen, inhale, and then rotate. Really get some release in the spine and the hips. Press the palms. Breathe into that rotation, pressing the thighs and the knees down. And just feel the steadiness of your breath. That's very essential to any movement practice we do. Okay, now let's see how this side goes. Keep adjusting, and you're trying to externally rotate. So can you try and get that sit bone down? Keep your chest lifted. How is it on this side? Make sure this front knee isn't lifting, because that would be a compensation. So keep drawing that knee down, that thigh down. Sit bone down, and just notice, okay, so this side, there's a lot more space. Check in with yourself, the difference, and if that knee is lifting. So this is definitely my tighter side. All right, now lift up, and just go back to the hammock again. And this is very helpful for the 90-90, is very helpful for deadlifts and squats. Okay, now, we're going to take care of the thoracic. So from this position, sit on your heels, and it's pretty much like a cat-cow, but a little different. It's targeting the upper back, the thoracic. So press the palms, straight arms. And by the way, if you can't sit on your heels, you can sit on a block, or you can take a folded blanket or towel and put it in between your butt and your feet. Your heels, because you do want to be able to sit back. You want your hips anchored so that the focus is on your upper back. So place the palms, spread the fingers, straight arms, and you're going to energetically pull. So from here, energetically pull and lift your chest, look up, and then push, round, and look down. Pull with the palms, look up. Exhale, push, round, and one more. Inhale, pull with the palms, straight arms, look up. Exhale, push and round. and release. And now you can just sit back and shake out the wrists. Okay, now this next one is kind of like a quasi squat, but it's very productive. So, and this is gonna help you with your squats. So what you're gonna do, step 1 foot forward, scooch the other leg back in. So you're gonna sit on the back heel. Now, do the best you can to bring that heel as close to the glute as possible. Your upper body on the thigh, hold on to the elbows, and you're using your upper body as a weight. So you're gonna shift your weight forward. So there's a couple things going on. Weight's going forward, driving the heel down and through the floor so you can really get into that end range of your ankle, but also stretching the soleus muscle. So right here, a little bit of the calf, but we're going a little bit deeper, but also the end range of the ankle. And this is gonna help with your squat depth. So just releasing the shoulders down, holding on to the elbows, and you're just resting your upper body as a weight on your thigh. And have your nose face the floor so that your neck isn't changing any position, because your neck is part of your spine. And now slowly release. Now it's very easy for that to get a little intense and to hold your breath. I want you to breathe fuller and deeper. I'm gonna turn around so you can see the other side. So stepping the foot, bringing the heel in, and again, leaning your upper body forward onto the thigh. Holding onto the elbows, it just kind of pulls you down a little bit. You can switch the crossing. It's always good to change things up. And then just feel the energy, your energetic energy. It's like an isometric going down through the floor and your weight going forward. And you can add any other creative movement you want. You can kind of sway side to side. You can kind of pulse forward and back. And you just want to be able to just remain slow and still in the move so that you get the biggest benefit for your gains. And just notice if it feels tighter on this side compared to the other side. All of those things always come up. And slowly release. Now, just to check it out, you can come up and just walk around and see how your body feels after those 3 drills. Now, I recommend doing these. We got different body parts, doing these as much as possible. Mobility is the foundation for safer and stronger lifts. Add these drills to your routine and watch your PRs climb. And I would love to hear how it went for you. You can comment below. I'd love to know the difference after you try this, after your training. And if you would like more help and reaching and crushing your PRs, hit subscribe and stay on your game with your PRs, with your training. And I'll see you next time.